Westbound, you're actually heavy approaching Lake Street. That's a stall in the right lane on the ramp. Crash cleanup continues to affect 80 eastbound right around 355. Your next report's at 408 News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Cloudy, breezy, warm, rainy rest of the afternoon. High 55. Windy and balmy tonight with some rain and thunderstorms around. Temperatures in the 50s, but we'll
be careful. Watch out. See you, all right?
Right now, light rain, 54 degrees at 3:50 done.
Featuring the news that matters and breaking news at any time. This is Chicago's news, traffic, and weather station. News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Coming up in the next half hour on News Radio WBBM, some parts of the Chicago area could see thunderstorms tonight. We'll have a live update from AccuWeather.
This is Mike Krauser. Former Mayor Lori Lightfoot launches the ICE Accountability Project, creating a website where people can share information about alleged wrongdoing by federal agents.
And protests held in Minneapolis and other cities against the deadly shooting of a woman by ICE agents. The latest next from CBS News. Sports Bulls hosting Miami tonight at the United Center. In business,
a split decision on Wall Street today. The Dow up 270 points. The NASDAQ down 104. The S&P was flat. I'm Tom Busby at Bloomberg.
Windy, balmy, rainy, even stormy tonight. Temperatures in the 50s. CBS News at 4 o'clock.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. Protests in Minneapolis after yesterday's shooting death of a woman by an ICE officer have spread to Los Angeles, D.C., and where reporter Mary Lynn Buckley is, New York City.
Travis Morales from RefuseFascism.com says this crowd is rallying in memory of Renee Nicole Good.
This was all to justify the killing of her. Kristi Noem came out and said she's a domestic terrorist.
Many in the crowd holding signs saying, Kristi Noem, you're not welcome here in NYC.
And Kristi Noem has the gall to call her a domestic terrorist. No! She was a hero of the people. Who are the real terrorists?
Mary Lynn Buckley for CBS News, New York.
Vice President J.D. Vance says the officer who shot Renee Good in South Minneapolis was doing his job and is protected by absolute immunity. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz calls for accountability after the FBI takeover of the shooting investigation.
I think it's clear to everyone as they saw this that it feels now that Minnesota has been taken out of the investigation. It feels very, very difficult that we will get a fair outcome.
NASA cancels a spacewalk due to an astronaut with a medical issue, and it may bring the crew back early. CBS News space consultant Bill Harwood.
It's never happened to NASA, and it's certainly never happened in the 25 years the International Space Station has been continuously staffed. So it's a big deal all the way around.
The medical condition has not been revealed, but NASA says the crew member is stable. President Trump says he wants the government to buy $200 billion in mortgage bonds in a push to bring down mortgage rates. President Trump is also lashing out at a few Republicans who voted with Democrats on a resolution to limit his ability to launch more attacks on Venezuela. CBS's Allison Keyes reports.
Missouri Republican Josh Hawley, one of 5 in his party who supported the resolution, says Congress should weigh in if the president wants to put troops on the ground in Venezuela. But
I don't see this as a backward-looking thing. I see this as a forward-looking thing. If this resolution is limited to Venezuela.
But Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says the vote sends a signal to the president.
No president, no matter how reckless, no matter how egotistical, gets a blank check.
Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
The House has refused to override President Trump's recent surprise vetoes of 2 bills with bipartisan support. CBS's Cammie McCormick.
One was designed to help local communities finance construction of a pipeline to provide water in Colorado. The other designated a site in the Everglades as part of an Indian reservation. That would have benefited one of the groups that sued over the
You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsor.
Chicago's news, traffic, and weather station. News Radio 105.9 and WBBMNewsRadio.com.
4:03 Thursday, January 8th, 2026. Good afternoon. Thanks so much for being with us today. I'm Andy Dane in for Lisa Fielding. Cloudy skies, 54 degrees right now in Chicago. And the weather is our top local story. Here on News Radio WBBM, it's not snow, but we are seeing a bit of rainfall and could see some heavy thunderstorms moving into the area tonight. Let's go live now to AccuWeather Senior Meteorologist Brian Thompson for what we can expect this evening. Brian.
Yeah, Andy, just a little bit of light rain, some sprinkles around downtown right now and most immediate suburbs. But you get out into parts of Kane and DeKalb counties, do some downpours. And again, it's not out of the question we could have a rumble of thunder with some of this activity into this evening. And there's more heavier downpours down toward Bloomington that we're going to keep an eye on as those continue to move to the north and east. So we will continue to have periods of rain and a thunderstorm into tonight, especially through the evening hours. And there could be gusty winds with any downpour. And any of these heavier downpours, thunderstorms could produce some brief ponding on roads, too, before things start to wind down later tonight. Brian Thompson, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
All right, Brian, thank you. We'll have a look at the 5-day forecast coming up at 4:15. Well, Governor Pritzker and one of his main Republican challengers offering thoughts about the deadly shooting by ICE agents of a woman in Minneapolis. The governor offered condolences to the family of Renee Good at the beginning of a bill signing ceremony in Joliet. He said this latest incident of violence tied to the Trump administration's enforcement efforts show it's time for Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem to go.
Kristi Noem and Donald Trump have told Americans to disbelieve clear, indisputable video evidence. They want you to question what your eyes and ears are telling you and instead blindly believe anything that they say.
Pritzker's Republican challenger Darren Bailey told reporters during a campaign event in Springfield today, state leaders' refusal to cooperate with the administration has forced federal authorities to escalate the situation. He also says his heart breaks every time that there is a loss of life. A former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot has launched what she calls the ICE Accountability Project, a website where people in the Chicago area can share info and videos documenting alleged criminal abusive conduct by federal agents.
What is happening now deeply resonates with me.
The former mayor former federal prosecutor detailed the project in The Loop, saying she is promoting democracy.
And we abhor the state-sponsored terror that has been visited upon many across Chicagoland who now live in fear. It is for those and others that we will continue to lift our voices and be shoulder to shoulder with them in this fight against an oppressive, unconstitutional, and downright mean-spirited federal government.
Videos and other documentation can be shared at reporticenow.com. Lightfoot says she's not looking to put anyone in danger. It's about accountability. Mike Krauser, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
An Aurora man has been sentenced to nearly a century in prison for a fatal double shooting.
27-year-old Samuel Garcia received 55 years for murder and 35 years for attempted murder in connection with the 2022 shooting in Aurora. One man was shot in the face and arm but survived. The second man fell while attempting to run away. Garcia reportedly stood over him and shot him twice in the head, killing him. According to the King County State's Attorney's Office, the shooting started after the victims had come to the aid of a juvenile who Garcia was harassing. Haley Hansen, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
There are concerns about the city of Chicago's aging fire truck fleet after two of them broke down while responding to a house fire this week.
It was a fire crews already had under control, but the flames flared up hours later, taking not one,
62 just broke down. Send me another engine.
not two,
93's having issues with their pump. I'm going to need another engine here to take over.
but 3 fire engines to respond to the Roseland home at 110th and State Tuesday morning. Pat Cleary, president of the Chicago Firefighters Union Local 2, says patching old trucks isn't enough. They need to be replaced.
I mean, I can send you pictures of rigs that we've used. There's holes. They're rusted out with holes in them.
Even with a state law requiring the city to set aside 10% of service funds for new emergency vehicles, firefighters say they still respond to calls unsure if their rigs will work.
Your neighborhood firehouse might have a 20 or 30-year-old rig that may or may not work if your house catches fire.
Sarah Herrera, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Well, it seems like there were a lot more tornadoes this year. You were not imagining things. Preliminary data from the NOAA shows Illinois recorded 146 tornadoes last year. It was 20 more twisters than the state had in 2024. Across the nation, Illinois had the second most tornadoes. It was only beaten out by Texas. 4:08. Time now for traffic and weather together on the 8s and clean up on I-55. Neil Fiorito.
Yeah, Andy, the wet weather causing a much longer ride today on most of the expressways, the tollways as well. But the Stevenson, yeah, that's still our trouble spot. A lot of traffic on either side approaching County Line Road. Crash cleanup continues on the outbound side on the left shoulder. 38 if you're going to Cicero, maybe out toward Midway. 58 to the Tri-State. Hour 14 to 355. Coming inbound 55 minutes from 355 to DuSable Lakeshore Drive. On the tollways, the Jane Addams and the debris delay continues westbound passing Randall Road. Some type of debris in the left lane to watch for, and a stall slowing you down on Route 390 westbound approaching Lake Street. Crash cleared on I-80 eastbound right around 355. Some delays continue. High travel times really across the board. The Eden's coming in 37. Kennedy inbound 57 minutes and 52 to drive out to the airport. In the express lanes, you do save some time. They're looking good leaving downtown to pass the Wintrust mural near North Avenue. You start to get a little thick from Diversey over to Montrose. On the Eisenhower, an hour 12 to and from the Jane Addams Tollway. South side, the Dan Ryan 45 out, 23 minutes in. I-57 going out at 20 minutes and 20 on the outbound side of the Ford, too. DuSable Lakeshore Drive on the brakes southbound, Michigan to Chicago Avenue. A backup southbound into Hyde Park and northbound traffic before Bellevue to Monroe and Navy Pier to Chicago Avenue. Nothing major along 8094 through Northwest Indiana. Just some traffic through Gary on both sides. From the Metro Traffic Center, next report, 418 News Radio 1059 WBBM.
Accurate weather forecast for this evening. Windy, balmy with some rain, even heavy thunderstorms around. Gusty winds and downpours possible with those storms. Temperatures hovering in the 50s. They will fall into the low 40s by sunrise. Bit of rain to start the day tomorrow. Otherwise windy, cooler. Clouds will break for some sunshine in the afternoon. A high 46. Could be cloudy again tomorrow night with some more showers toward dawn. A low of 34. Cloudy skies right now in the area. 54 degrees at O'Hare and Midway. 43 along the lakefront. Markets mostly higher today. The Dow added 270 points. NASDAQ dropped 104. The S&P
bagging
added
up
a
into
fraction.
traffic.
It's 410.
My kids make fun of me because they're my kids. One of the things they mock me for is the fact that they find me all the time out of the garage, even on really cold days, just staring at my brand new Comer and Cross.
See that
garage
guy,
door.
right?
I'm
Backing
not kidding.
around, man.
Cisco Cotto here. When the snow and the
You
ice...
see that guy, right? It's, man, it's in the middle of traffic, bro. I get it. He's trying to get over there. It's okay, but that was kind of wild there, ain't it? By the way, good afternoon. You're watching SubX.News on the spot reporting. It's 4:11 p.m. January 8th, 2026. It is Thursday. It is raining, and it is 56 degrees out. It's beautiful. It's great. It's a little rainy. It's going to drop a little tonight. It is. It's like spring weather, and I came out today. It was crazy. I'm trying to change my schedule, so I don't know how long I'm going to go today. I've been up since 6 a.m. Usually that's really early for me, as I go to sleep around 3 a.m. So I got about 2 to 3 hours of sleep today. So I'm trying to switch around what I'm doing. That way, and then you might notice it the way I post might be changing. So it is what it is. 2026 is a change year. That's what I'm going to try to do. Trying to figure some stuff out, see where we're going. Oh, the big news today. I don't know, they had the shooting yesterday in Minneapolis. Going back and forth. Is she a victim? Is she this? I mean, you know, people shouldn't die, but don't put yourself into a situation like that. It sounds like the wife was there. The one that was filming was the wife, they're saying. When you hear that one tape where they're screaming, what the F, they're saying that might be the wife. The wife, they're saying one of the videos is from her wife. That's what they're saying. I don't know. I have to double check that, but that's messed up. So the two ladies were there. And they got supposed to have a few kids, and she's out doing that. Here's another thing. What are you doing? Is that your job? During the day, do you do protesting or what? Look, again, you can't excuse a death, right? That has to be looked into, but what were you doing there? I think I talked about this yesterday. The intentions of these people, right? What were they doing there?
Geneva Geneva's historic blacksmith shop on State Street was built in the early 1800s. There are plans to tear it down. The Geneva City Council could approve a plan to tear the building down as early as next week. The blacksmith shop used to be part of the Mill Race Inn restaurant that closed in 2011. In 2014, a developer bought the property and wants to tear the blacksmith shop down in order to make the land easier to redevelop. Preservationists are making a last-minute plea, saying it's a vital part of Geneva history. The developer says they can't do anything with the structure and it's too expensive to use for some other purpose. Cisco Cotto, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Thieves have been targeting ticket machines at the Van Buren Street Metro Station downtown. Chicago and Metro Police converged on the station to canvass for clues. It took place in the pre-dawn hours at the station at 132 East Van Buren Street in Grant Park, which serves the Metro Electric line. The machines were damaged by suspects and had to be taken out of service. Metro Police say they have made some arrests, but remain mum on details. A look at the 5-day forecast and sports news just ahead. It's 4:14.
That's right here, right? That's our beat. That's what we do. We're right here. Van Buren is right here, right? Everybody knows where that's at, right? That's by that abandoned library, right? Here, let's talk about that, right? Here, I always show you guys this one, right? Remember I showed you guys by Art Institute yesterday? Well, there you go again. This is what, Randolph? That's Millennium Park. It's the main attraction, the Bean, everything. They can't even have a store there. The Cinnabon is over there. Man, it's beautiful outside. Look at that. It's closed. There ain't nobody here. I know what people are going to say. Well, it's raining, dude. Like, no, that's not how things work. It don't work like that in a big city. That's all I got to say. I got a video of me coming up here at about 3 o'clock. I was talking with my wife, so I'm not going to put that on. I'm going to put different sound on that, right? What we talk about is our business. It's personal. I'm see it, but it was abandoned, and my wife was shocked. We usually take Lakeshore Drive coming up here. She works here, right? She works in downtown area. So I've been coming. See, my wife works in downtown. I've been coming to downtown for 3 years straight every day. Never missed a day so far. So no one can tell me what I see and I don't see. See, that's the point. You can say whatever you want, and we can argue crime and all of this stuff, but I see what I see. So we were talking today, me and my wife, and she just said, yeah, I've never seen it that bad. I've never seen, she goes, she was shocked by no people. And she used to come to downtown every day. She was in school every day and worked in downtown every day. I used to work in downtown, and I used to go to school in downtown every day. So I too know how downtown should look, and the way it looks now I don't even know if it can get worse, to tell you the truth. It might. I mean, we got a lot of things like you heard about the Ventura boxes being robbed and all of that, and they're trying to clean out the drug things, but I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I've been in Minneapolis when downtown was being torn up in the late 80s. And I knew people up there. Anybody know Minneapolis? You know where I'm talking about? Downtown, it was abandoned. I've been in Kansas City downtown. That was in the 90s, I believe. It was getting torn up. It was bad. Kansas City that was a ghost town. I've been in Detroit in the 2000s, right? And it was messed up. So I've been in all these towns where the downtowns, but LA is just, I'm thinking I think, to me, Chicago might end up in LA. It's LA is slumming downtown. You know what that means, right? These rich people and people have money. They leave it like gritty and urban looking, but then they're separated, and that's how LA is. The smell is horrendous in downtown LA. They poo and pee everywhere, these homeless people down in LA. They're everywhere. But you go into these buildings and they look old, like here, like you see these old buildings like that. And it's gritty and everything, and you got all the homeless people, you got some stuff going on, and then you go in it, and then they have, on the top floors in these buildings, that's where the people are, right? The people that have money and stuff like that, right? So, that's how LA, that's what I'm thinking Chicago might end up in. Or which is going to take a few years, maybe about 20 years or 30 years, to repopulate downtown, but not with businesses, but with residents. They're going to convert, and they've started it under, Rahm started a little bit more, Lori Lightfoot started a rezoning downtown because it was pure commercial and pure business. And in city zoning rules, you can't live in commercial business places or industrial places, not in Chicago. So what they started doing under Lightfoot, and Brandon continued it, that was his first 6 months in office. He extended that, or he made some deals where they're rezoning these buildings, or the zoning use. I don't know if they're rezoning the building or they're just redefining use. There's two ways to do it, right? If you rezone it, that takes, I think, more time, or they just it stays the same zoning, but you can use it for other things, but they want to make residences out of these big office buildings. So the idea is, this long thing that I'm talking about, is that they're going to repopulate the downtown with people, because it makes sense, right? We have all the attractions downtown. You have a lot of transportation. You have trains. You have highways. They're doing these bike lanes, and you have the river. The river is really, really being cleaned up in the last 20 years, and the river is where rich people are. I'm going to tell you that. I mean, did you see one of my videos up by the valleys, across the valleys by the old Montgomery? They have $1 million boats right there on the river. I mean, and it started many, many years ago, about 40 or 50 years ago, where they had City Front Center down on the South Loop. I think that's what it's called. They even have warm pipes. You can keep your boat there all year long. Now, that doesn't mean the river freezes, but you can keep your boat in the water there, underneath that development. You know where I'm talking about, right? In the South Loop over there. The Bally's used to be inside that building over there. It's over by the 78 over there. It's by the Icon Theater and all of that's there. It's on Roosevelt right there. It's a little north of Roosevelt. So I guess what I'm saying in a long-winded way is that there are plans, long-term plans for Chicago to be repopulated, right? There was an article or a news story yesterday that we're having trouble with our population in our country because people are living longer and they're having less kids. So there's going to be more people dying, what do they say, in 30 or 40 years than people being born. And that's that's an inversion, they say. And that's really bad for a society, because you have a smaller amount of people that support a larger amount of people, right? The young people always work and make money. The older people, you retire, you're disabled, whatever it is, you don't produce as much as a young person. That's a fact, right? So, but they say that's going to be an inversion, and the way you fix that is by immigration. And I think I made a few comments that we need to fix the immigration system and not let drug addicts, drug dealers, and criminals in town. And I think people, and God rest that lady's soul, Ms. Good, that passed away yesterday, we need to maybe be not confronting police agents as a revolutionary that wants to destroy our society, right? By all means necessary. The PLCs, right? And the weathermen. But we should maybe start thinking about how to fix things and rejuvenate things and get more immigrants in our country. We need more immigrants, but legally, right? And immigrants that want to work, and immigrants that aren't on welfare, immigrants that aren't criminals, immigrants like I have videos of them doing drugs and crime on street corners in our downtown, right? So, all right, that's where we're at. Let's maybe listen to some radio calls. Let's see if I see any comments here. I told you they were paid protesters. There you go. Yeah, she was paid. Is that what she said? My mom and dad taught me well enough, not worth your life. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that came out yet. I haven't read everything. I'm sure the New York Times came out with an analysis of the video. They're saying that she was driving away from the cops. The cop was in front of her. Either way, it doesn't matter. Look, again, I'm not disrespecting her who she was, right? She's a person, right? Everybody knows how I talk sometimes, but you put yourself in that situation. There was something I posted, and it's pretty controversial. I don't know what's going to happen. We'll see what happens with it. And someone, actually, it's a comment, and I reposted that comment. That's what I do sometimes. And I said this, and this is from a commenter, one of our Substance News commenters, SubX's commenters, right? Followers. The person said, she hated ICE more than she loved her children, because she had 3 children, I guess, with her partner. And that's the truth. What did I do yesterday? I told you, my son just left. He left today. He's going to be gone for a little while. He might be back. I said, I'm going home to be with my son. And he's an adult. And he's got a brand new job. Well, I'll see if I can talk about it. Right? He just got back from a war, right? He was deployed for a year in a war zone in the Middle East. A bad place. And now he got a new job in the Army. And he's leaving again. So he'd been around for a little while. So I said, what did I say? I'm going home to be my kid. I was a little late yesterday. Was it yesterday because of the CTA, the drug stuff over there? But I went home. And everybody knows I do that. And that's what I do, right? I have other kids. I spend more time. I try to do what I can, right? But that's what we all have these. I guess where I'm getting to is we all have decisions and choices to make in life. Am I the best dad? I don't know. I try to be. But I try to put my family first. Do I always? No. Am I a workaholic? Yes. Can I spend more time with my family? Yes. Can I be more mindful? Yes. But in the end, and do I put myself into situations where I shouldn't be? I try not to. I think I know what I'm doing. But I guess where I'm getting to is this. At a certain point, every individual has a choice to make in life. That lady, Ms. Good, made a choice. And it was the wrong choice. It was the wrong choice. She put herself in this situation. And she's passed away now. And she didn't have to do that. We can debate good or bad, good shoot, bad shoot, whatever. This is where they have the station here, the Cook County Police, right? We can debate that. But you know what? None of that matters anymore. That's the point, I guess, what I'm trying to make with this talk, what I'm saying now, right? It doesn't matter. That person, she made the wrong decision. You can say she had the right to protest, whatever you want to say, whatever you want to say, whatever you want to say. And we're lucky in this society we can say that because we have freedom of speech. And we have freedom of association, right? So she can associate with people that hate the government. They want to, afterwards they burn the flag, right? Those are that's the city where they burned the city down because of George Floyd. You remember that? Everybody remember. We're going to go up State Street. Everybody remembers that. They burned down Minneapolis after George Floyd. I don't know what that accomplished. I didn't accomplish too much, I don't think. But the point I'm trying to make here is this. She had the freedom to do whatever she wanted to, and she associated with everybody she wanted to. Somehow she was brainwashed into thinking she had the right to block ICE agents with her car. Block the streets. And then when they came and said, we want to talk to you, or whatever they said to her, get out of the car, she thought she has the right to leave, to do whatever she wanted. Somebody somewhere down the road gave her the wrong information, whether she learned that as a child, teenager, or an adult. Someone gave her bad information. And that bad information made her make bad decisions. And today she's not alive anymore. Just like these kids who do carjackings. Beat up people on the CTA. People who murder. You just heard about a guy who just got, 100 years for killing a guy, right? Bad decisions. I'm not making excuses for crime now. The crime's crime, right? But everybody has a choice in life. And we have the freedom to be wherever we need to be and to take care of whatever we need to be doing. Like I'm doing. I'm doing this, right? I choose to do this. Whether you watch my show, whether you don't watch my show, whether you like me, you don't like me, that has no bearing on what I do. It doesn't. It really doesn't. If people like me or not has nothing to do with what I do. Zero. Nothing. I do this, and I always say this. If one person watched 10 people watch, 100 or a million watch, I would do the same thing. I wouldn't change what I do. I'm doing the same thing. Because that's my choice. I choose to do this because I think this is important. She chose to do that because she thought it was important. I hope that's what she thought. I hope she wasn't tricked. I hope she wasn't manipulated. I think she was brainwashed. Someone who does that and messes with the feds, I think you're brainwashed a little bit, but whatever. Let's listen to 4:30 News, and then I'll put on some radio calls, because that's a little too much talking I have there. I think it's important to discuss that. I think it's important. And we can go, oh, she deserved it, and all that. People saying, whatever, man. No one deserves to die. Don't say that kind of stuff. But let's talk about choices and how did we get here, right? That's where I want to get to.
Out to 355, 55 in from the Veterans Tollway. Dan Ryan close to 50 minutes out, 23 minutes inbound. I-57 and the 4 both at 20 minutes outbound. Pretty typical backups on DuSable Lakeshore Drive on either side. On the tollways at Jane Addams, still heavy westbound passing Randall Road. Emergency vehicles on the shoulder where they lost load from a vehicle. From the Metro Traffic Center, next report, 438, News Radio 105.9, WBBM.
A windy, balmy evening with some rain, even thunderstorms that could be heavy tonight. Temperatures hovering in the 50s, but will fall into the low 40s by sunrise. Rain to start the day tomorrow, otherwise windy, cooler. Some sunshine in the afternoon, a high of 46. Cloudy now, 54 degrees. O'Hare and Midway, 43 along the lakefront at 429.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's best eggs.
It's 4:29 p.m. There you go.
For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's best. Ring in the new year and save big on everything for your next project. Now at Menards. Upgrade your bathroom today with our great selection of Rowan bath fans. Get a Chroma Comfort bath fan that has 24 color options with unlimited color themes and a built-in Bluetooth speaker. View our entire selection of Rowan bath fans on Menards.com. Plus, check out our weekly flyer. Great deals happening this week.
Traffic and weather station, News Radio 105.9 and WBBMNewsRadio.com.
4:30, good afternoon. I'm Andy Dane in for Lisa Fielding. These are the top stories on News Radio WBBM. The FBI investigates yesterday's deadly shooting of a woman by ICE agents in Minneapolis. Federal prosecutors changed their story, announcing they have no evidence a Chicago man put a bounty on Border Patrol Chief Bovino's head.
This is Nancy Hardy. A car crashes through a soundproofing wall and onto the expressway. Fatal accident in the southwest suburbs.
And a bipartisan group of U.S. senators pass a measure restricting President Trump from engaging in further attacks on Venezuela. Sports, the Bulls hosting the Miami Heat at the United Center this evening. In business,
I'm Tom Busby at Bloomberg. Gains for defense contractors today, but not for the tech sector. At the close, the Dow up 270, the Nasdaq down 104, the S&P was flat.
Windy, warm with some rain and thunderstorms around this evening. Temperatures in the 50s, but falling towards daybreak. Right now, cloudy skies, 54 degrees at 4:31. Well, topping our news at this half hour, the FBI now taking the lead on the investigation into the deadly ICE shooting in Minneapolis. CBS correspondent Asher Karashi says that means Minnesota's state agency for investigations has been cut off from evidence.
They were originally supposed to be investigating this jointly with the FBI. That is no longer the case. They say they're being blocked from evidence, from case materials, from interviews, and so they can no longer participate, in their words, with this investigation, which is now solely being led by the FBI. That will likely not sit well with residents here.
Those who knew the victim, 37-year-old Renee Good, sharing details about her life as a mother of 3 and her role as a legal observer in the Twin Cities. During a news conference today, Vice President J.D. Vance called Good's death a tragedy of her own making. He also blamed the media for its portrayal of what happened.
What we're going to do is make it easier for the American People's Administration to enforce the American People's law. And that means that Democrats have to stop rallying the mob against legitimate law enforcement operations.
Governor Pritzker today said the fatal shooting shows it's time for Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem to go. The governor began a bill signing ceremony in Joliet with an expression of condolences for the Good family.
I've spoken with Governor Walz and offered my complete and total support and the support of the state of Illinois. I have directed the Illinois State Police to work closely with the Minnesota Bureau of Investigation to support their efforts to pursue justice.
One of the governor's Republican challengers, former state senator Darren Bailey, told reporters in Springfield his heart breaks over the loss of life, but that federal agents would never have to go to Minnesota if state leaders would have cooperated with the Trump administration. Well, federal prosecutors now backing off of claims that a Chicago man accused of placing a bounty on Border Patrol Commander Gregory Bovino is a member of a street gang.
It's the upcoming high-profile trial of Juan Espinoza Martinez, and the case was filed at the height of Operation Midway Blitz. The Chicago Tribune reports the trial will focus on whether Martinez had an affinity for the Latin Kings. At a pretrial hearing, prosecutors said it'll also explore whether text messages Martinez sent to associates allegedly calling for Bovino's killing came from specific knowledge he had of the gang's activities. Renita Young, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
A high-speed crash early this morning in the southwest suburbs left one man dead and another injured. It all happened on I-55 near Route 126.
Police say a car speeding along Taylor Road in Romeoville hit a curb and went into the air through the noise barrier wall and landed on I-55. It was before 4:30 in the morning, and police say the car was then hit by another vehicle in the northbound lanes of the expressway. There's a very sharp turn on Taylor, which then becomes frontage road. Police say the driver of the speeding car was killed. The driver of the other vehicle is expected to survive their injuries. We don't have other details yet, but police expect to share more later. Nancy Hardy, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
At 4:34, the House has now passed legislation extending expired health care subsidies for those who get their coverage through the Affordable Care Act for 3 years. 17 Republicans crossed the aisle to vote with Democrats, a rebuke of House Speaker Mike Johnson, who tried to stop it. The Congressional Budget Office says the proposed 3-year extension would increase the nation's number of people with health insurance by millions. Members of the Senate now working on an alternative bill. The Senate also advancing a resolution limiting President Trump's ability to conduct further attacks on Venezuela.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says the resolution isn't just a procedural vote.
This vote shows that the American people don't want more military adventures.
Republican Missouri Senator Josh Hawley, one of 5 GOP members who voted for it, says if the president wants to put boots on the ground in Venezuela,
then I think Congress would have to be on the hook for that.
But Republican Senator Lindsey Graham says Congress has no role in the matter. Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
President Trump telling the New York Times the U.S. could stay in control of Venezuela for years. Comes just a day after U.S. forces seized 2 more oil tankers under international sanctions for ties to Venezuela. Your CBS News senior national security correspondent Charlie D'Agata.
Administration officials Wednesday laid out how the ongoing quarantine on oil out of Venezuela is playing into the larger plan for the U.S. to take over the country's massive oil reserves.
We are going to take between 30 and 50 million barrels of oil. We're going to sell it in the marketplace. That money will then be handled in such a way that we will control how it is dispersed in a way that benefits the Venezuelan people, not corruption, not the regime.
That oil alone, worth between $2 and $3 billion, would be taken by tankers and brought to port in the United States.
This comes as the Trump administration selectively removes sanctions to enable the shipping and sale of Venezuelan oil to markets worldwide. Coming up, we'll update traffic, weather, and low gas prices in your area. It's 4:36.
Are you tired? There you go, all right? Trump's doing it. I'm going to say this. You got to watch. There's a show, I don't know if it's The Revolution, American Revolution by Ken Burns or The War of 1812. I don't know which one of those. I just watched that with my kid a few weeks ago. Do you know how we did that revolution back then? We did the same thing, piracy. We started our country. You gotta watch, I don't know which one it was, the War of 1812 or the Revolution. I don't know which one it was. America, part of the way we won the revolution and all that was through piracy. We were taking the British and all of their stuff. That's what we were doing. And then the British were doing some of that. And then we were fighting, and we got the French on our side, right? I don't remember which one it is. If I remember, I'll post it. But that's what I was thinking. I've been thinking about that the last few days about these ships that we're taking over. That's piracy. That's what we're doing. We're doing piracy. It's not. You could call it whatever you want, but we're doing high seas piracy with our military. What did we say about Greenland? Did you hear what Trump said about Greenland? Not yet. He didn't make it formalized, but they're saying it in between the lines. We'll just take it over. That's what Trump just said. They said that in a few things. We'll take it over. We're doing what we did 200-300 years ago. Hey, we're America, man. Look, you can agree with it or not. But everyone that's living on this soil, including our African-American brothers and sisters who were involuntarily brought here in chains. They were sold into servitude by other blacks in Africa, and they were brought here and sold to white people. All of us, every single one of us, are here in America. We're not from here, technically, right? We're from other places. Even the Indians and all of that stuff, they're from other places. What I guess I'm trying to say is this. Oh, I didn't finish the news.
35 in for the tri-state.
We'll see if it comes out. Is this. That's how we started this country. And that's how we're going to build this country. And every civilization did that. The Romans, the Greeks, the Egyptians, the African nations. There's a lot of African nations in the olden days. The South American Incas and Aztecs and all of that. So it ain't nothing new what we're doing today. But the piracy, that ship stuff is pretty wild. I like that. And what we should do, sell that and give it to those people down there. They need to rebuild their country. There's the one thing I don't have anybody miss, besides them having the most oil in the whole world, the most oil reserves, Venezuela. At one time, Venezuela was the richest country in the world. At one time. At one time. And now they're one of the poorest countries, huh? How'd that happen? You can't blame that on us. That's not our fault.
News Radio 1059 WBBM. WBBM AccuWeather. It's going to become windy as we enter tonight. We'll continue to have periods of rain, even a thunderstorm, especially during the evening hours. Gusty winds could accompany any downpour. That could even
let's listen to the radio call, see if we're missing any crime.
Low 40s at sunrise. Maybe an early shower tomorrow. Otherwise windy and cooler as clouds break for some afternoon sun. High 46.
See what's going on.
As we enter tomorrow night into early Saturday, a low 34 and a little.
But yeah, that piracy stuff, that's pretty cool stuff. Yeah. And see what the things are. These are all illegal ships. They're not flying the right flags. They're doing illegal transportation of goods. Technically, they're not supposed to be doing that oil stuff. So it's like, it is what it is. It's like no man's land.
At 4:40, a 7-year-old is in the center of a Northwest Suburban Village Board decision to allow a decades-old backyard shed, now used as an art studio, to remain in place.
The decades-old shed sits behind a home in Mount Prospect and does not meet current zoning rules, but a Make-A-Wish grant turned it into an art and therapy space for the homeowner's 7-year-old daughter with ongoing medical needs. Mitch Kino is the girl's father.
This was not pursued by our family, but we were so grateful to have been given this incredible gift.
The village initially approved the structure under a temporary permit, but as the family prepares to relocate, trustees voted Tuesday to allow it to remain. Neighbors and friends like Laura Hollis voiced support.
Not just a shed, it is something that is meaningful and purposeful and holds a place in this child's heart.
Trustees like Vince Dante said the decision balanced zoning rules with compassion.
Nothing is more important to me than family. And so my heart bleeds for you.
The vote also allows a small porch addition so the space can continue serving its therapeutic purpose. Sarah Herrera, News Radio 1059 WBBM.
As the indefinite wait continues for the full release of files tied to Jeffrey Epstein, some lawmakers and Epstein survivors want the Department of Justice's internal watchdog to investigate the agency's handling of the files. Your CBS News Justice correspondent Scott McFarland.
A group of Jeffrey Epstein survivors, some members of Congress of both parties, and some watchdog groups are all asking the Inspector General, the internal watchdog of the U.S. Department of Justice, to investigate whether the agency is violating the law with how it's releasing or not releasing all of the Jeffrey Epstein case files. Federal law required a full release by December 19th, but only about 1% have been released so far.
More than 2 million documents are still being reviewed. Alaska warning residents about possible avalanches and heavy rain in the forecast.
The city got 82 inches of snow last month, shattering the previous December record of 55. All that snow caved in roofs and sank boats in Juneau's harbor. Jeremy Zidek with Alaska's Division of Homeland Security says Friday's forecast calls for warmer weather and up to 4 inches of rain.
This will lead to rapid rises in avalanche hazard.
City Emergency Manager Ryan O'Shaughnessy.
At this time, we do not believe that there is reason or condition to evacuate your homes or be spending the night somewhere else.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Top trending stories and sports on the way. It's 4:43.
I just seen a cop by the blue line. They let this drug dealing and drug stuff on these trains, and now it's 4 o'clock. I just seen a cop over here, right? Listen to some radio calls. I'll show you. I'm going over there now. There's a drug overdose or arrest over here, right down the street from here. And let's go, right?
Panic from the key pad, zone 13 is Mass Station clear.
3260. 3260. Fully relocating to the 2nd District.
10-4, got you going to 21524.
7389 David.
7389
4:40 p.m. by the way. No traffic.
They haven't even dispatched it yet. Still on a board. I let them know that the situation. They just sit there in a backlog.
Backlog. Listen to that call. Listen. CPD doesn't have enough officers. Listen.
Relocating to the 2nd District.
10-4, got you going to 21524.
7389 David.
Listen up.
7389 David.
Yeah, what's the ETA of the 18th District car?
They haven't even dispatched it yet. Still on a board. I let them know that the situation. They just sit there in a backlog.
But okay, so they're gonna take one of the here to Northwestern Hospital, and I don't know, we're gonna have to sit with the guys for a while.
Okay. So they're taking him to Northwestern, 1528. I'll let the zone know, and I'll update the ticket. And I got you sitting on it until they get there. Sorry about this.
CPD is backlogged. Don't have enough cars.
7-3, Frank.
Can I please get an event number for bus 033 going eastbound from Oakley 79?
Alright, that is 08050.
10-4, thank you.
7386.
732.
Those drug dudes are jacked up out here.
736 Charlie.
Yeah, upper and lower and Clark and
There's people doing drugs out here. It's warm out here, man.
Alright, that'll be... I got you. 080...
They got street patrols here, see that?
08065.
7386.
You see two cops walking there.
That's the number for a station check, Howard Line.
Yep, that'll be 08071.
You see the lights over there. That's what I'm trying to get to.
7388 Adam.
7388 Adam.
It shows right on the line, 7126 in the cart. Shows with boy also.
Alright, where are you starting from?
From Racine platform.
Alright, that is 08082. I'm sorry, 08082. 08082.
Sorry, 383 George.
7 minutes, George.
I'm gonna bus check Roosevelt and Karlov, bus number 8101.
Okay, that is 08096.
That's 388 Charlie.
788 Charlie.
I get a van number for Illinois Medical District Blue Line.
Yep, that is 08136.
They cleaned this place out. See that there?
383 Adam and Boy.
623 Adam.
You get two numbers 95 and red line, upper and lower.
08144.
That place is cleaned out, right?
08146.
7389 Charlie.
789 Charlie.
Can we get upper and lower at State and Brazil, please?
Yeah, then 08149, 08151. And BH3, I'm saying what about BH3 still there? BH3 still there?
Yeah, helicopter base, go ahead.
We might go on.
Zone 7 requesting you, Lakeshore and Hyde Park, and more like East End, honestly. They had a car take off on the Mississippi Street deal that they think is UUW.
Okay, copy that. We'll brief the oncoming staff here.
Actually, you know what? Helicopter base you can disregard. They have the car stopped and to detain.
Adam.
786 Adam.
Take it upper, lower, Jackson Red.
08193, 08196. And park.
323 units, Green Citywide, getting call shots fired, 7100 South Dorchester, 7100 South Dorchester, 5 people armed with guns in front that are walking around, all black clothing. They fired 15 shots about 1 minute ago. Nothing further, zone 7.
7389 Adam.
789 Adam.
Tweet number for Jackson and Red, upper and lower.
08245, 08246.
7389 David.
89 David.
Any luck on that scheme dispatch?
Okay, yes, sorry. It's 1832 is on the way. They just don't have GPS on their car, so I'm not sure where they're at right now.
Nah, no problem. What's the event number for this?
There you go.
078.
Nevada plates doing Ubering in downtown Chicago. You see that there? You can say, oh, that's a rental car. Well, you're not supposed to use rental cars for Ubering. That's a livery, right? You're supposed to have plated cars for Illinois and Chicago. You just seen it right there. I just showed you, right? You're not supposed to do that stuff. Why? We're losing income there. That man is making money off of our people in our town, the little money that we have here. And they're making money, and who knows where that money goes. If that car is plated out of the state, that means that car's revenue is not coming into our state. And we're not enforcing those rules. Well, we got drug addicts everywhere too, so that's neither here nor there, I guess.
277.
It's empty. Ain't nobody here, man. Completely abandoned. Look at that.
The blue line, that's the platform.
There you go, man.
Alright, that is 08289.
My temperature on my car says 57 degrees, and look at this. It's completely empty here. And it's what? What's the time right now? 4:52. It's completely empty.
West Buena at the Uptown Library. Mark says there's a 20 to 25-year-old male black wearing a green hoodie threatening another patron. District 19 zone 2 is clear.
300. Think of that for a bus. Michigan going northbound.
Northbound from what cross street?
Ringed up.
Okay, that is 08331.
7383 Frank.
7 Frank.
Taxi's getting event number for bus 7977, 79th Street on Cottage, going westbound.
083.
I used to take these trains. They were filled with people. You see those two stairways? It's 4:53 p.m. It's a Thursday. It's 57 degrees right now. You see those two stairways? They're completely empty. There's no one using the train. Those used to be packed with people. You used to have to fight your way up those stairs at this time. There's no one there. Did you see that? It's abandoned. That's what that shows. There's no one going up. Have you seen somebody going up those stairs? There you go. It's 4:54 p.m. It's a Thursday afternoon. 4:54 p.m. The height of rush hour. Look at these train stairways. There's no one on them. There's 0 people on these trains. These used to be packed with people at this time. You'd have to fight your way up the stairs to get on a space on the platform to get onto the train. There's no one there. Did you see that there? You can see these train stairways here. Look. There's no one going up. There's no one coming down. Look at that. One person. It's 4:54 p.m. Look. There's no one going up the stairs. These used to be packed with people. They were packed at this time. This is the height of rush hour now in downtown Chicago. There's another stairway. There's no one here. Look. There's no one going up that stair. No one. It's abandoned. It's the height of rush hour in downtown Chicago. You want to see one more time? Look. There's no one here. See that stairway there? Think about it. There's what, 4 or 5 stairways right within a block of each other. Why did they have it? Because it was so crowded here. I've taken this train for many, many years. Look at that. There's no one up and down those stairway there. You see that there? It's completely empty. It's completely abandoned. Downtown Chicago is abandoned. There's no other word to say about it. It's abandoned. There you go. There you go.
I got nothing further. Zone 7.
Train units in 14 citywide, a hold-up alarm at Family Dollar, 3217 West North,
383 Frank.
73. I'm sorry, what are you guys coming at?
83 Frank. Can you hold us down on 87 by the Dan Ryan Woods, assisting motor vehicle accident to push your car?
It's slippery out there. 09038.
10-4.
Where are we at? I think we skipped a few there, right? Let's go back a little bit, right? I'll go back. There's a robbery happened at the dollar store, right? We'll go back to about 4 o'clock, maybe. We'll catch that robbery, right?
738 on David.
Hey, man, David.
Any luck on that being dispatched?
Okay, yes. Sorry. It's 1832 is on the way. They just don't have GPS on their car, so I'm not sure where they're at right now.
Nah, no problem. What's the event number for this?
07887. 07887. Yep, no problem.
7383 George.
7383 George.
Give me a number for a bus check. Roosevelt and Kaminsky. Bus number 8895.
Yep, that is 08266.
7384.
7384.
I get another event number for riding the train northbound, red line.
Yeah, where you started from?
35th, and if you get a hold of myself and then add them through Eddie as well down.
Alright, 10-4. That will be 08277. 08277.
Alright, thank you, bud.
Yeah.
7388 Adam.
7388 Adam.
show us an oil on the Blue Line Energy platform?
Alright, that is 08289.
Units at 1914 in Citywide. We're getting an assault in progress, 929 West Buena at the Uptown Library. Mark says there's a 20 to 25-year-old male black wearing a green hoodie threatening another patron. District 19, Zone 2 is clear.
3 Henry, negative event for a bus. Michigan going northbound.
Northbound from what cross street?
Randolph.
Okay, that is 08331.
7383 Frank.
7 minutes, Frank.
Can I please get an event number for bus 7977 on 79th Street on Cottage, going westbound?
08348.
7353.
7353.
Is that number up on Lower Howard and Red Line?
Yep, that is 08356 and 08357.
4754.
And 4754, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Citywide K9.
Against the 25 Citywide K9's battery just occurred. Now coming in battery in progress, 1631 John Quill. Large group of parents fighting outside the school. Nothing further. This is Zone 11.
There you go. It's 4:50.
Okay, if anyone's near Washington and Wells, getting one call for a male caller who claims a
there you go. It's 4:54 p.m. It's a Thursday afternoon. 4:54 p.m. The height of rush hour. Look at these train stairways. Sorry. There's no one on them. There's 0 people on these trains. These used to be packed with people at this time. I'm sorry. My phone is acting up. I'm trying to post stuff, so. Washington and Wells, right? They said. It's 5 o'clock. This is in the news.
Warm, stormy tonight. Temperatures in the 50s. CBS News at 5 o'clock.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. CBS News space consultant Bill Harwood says this is a first and a big deal. NASA is cutting short the mission of a U.S., Japanese, Russian crew on the International Space Station because of a medical issue. CBS's Cammie McCormick.
NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman.
I've come to the decision that it's in the best interest of our astronauts to return Crew 11 ahead of their planned departure.
Chief Medical Officer James Polk says the crew member is stable and it is not an emergency, but more tests are needed.
The medical incident was sufficient enough that we were concerned about the astronaut, that we would like to complete that workup. And the best way to complete that workup is on the ground.
He said the issue had nothing to do with the operational environment or the preparations for a spacewalk, which has now been canceled.
In the U.S. House.
On this vote, the yeas are 230, the nays are 196. The bill is passed. And while
a bill to extend expired health care subsidies through the Affordable Care Act passes. It's a rebuke of House Speaker Mike Johnson, who tried to stop it. The Congressional Budget Office said the proposed 3-year extension would increase the nation's deficit by about $80 billion over the decade and increase the number of people by health insurance by millions. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Christine Noem, President Trump, and Vice President J.D. Vance described yesterday's deadly shooting of a woman by an ICE agent as self-defense. But the mayor and governor dispute that, citing videos from the scene. The CBS's Nicole Skanga is in Minneapolis.
The agent involved in the shooting was not new to the job, had 10 years experience, was based in the Minneapolis area, and was a member of the special response team. So a lot of questions regarding if the agent followed protocol when he first approached that vehicle. The FBI is looking into this and is now leading the investigation.
In which Minnesota Governor Tim Walz says state and local authorities should be included.
The Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, the BCA, spent the day yesterday attempting to get that accountability.
We have learned that the Trump administration has now denied the state that ability to participate in the investigation.
Protests against ICE have spread from coast to coast. 5 Republicans in the U.S. Senate have joined with Democrats to move forward a resolution related to the War Powers Act. It would block President Trump from using further military force in Venezuela. In a Truth Social post, the president called out the Republicans, including Kentucky Senator Rand Paul, who drew up the resolution.
You know, this debate is bigger than this particular president. I've had the same opinion under President Obama, President Biden, the last President Trump.
Stocks closed mixed on Wall Street today. This is CBS News.
You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age.
It's warm out. I got my windows open. I gotta pull over here and I gotta upload some. I want to pull out of traffic. So
the 8th of January. Good afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Andy Dane in for Lisa Fielding. Light rain falling in Chicago, 54 degrees. Been kind of a gray and wet day out there. The weather is our top local story here on News Radio WBBM. Could see some heavier stuff moving in tonight. Thunderstorms in the forecast for portions of the Chicago area for the evening ahead. Let's go live now to AccuWeather and senior meteorologist Brian Thompson for what we can expect throughout the evening.
Yeah, Andy, we'll continue to see some rain at times. Some of it will be on the heavier side, and like I said, there could be some thunderstorms even mixed in as well. We've did have thunder reported last hour at O'Hare, and again, there will be more of that here as the evening goes on. Still some downpours, certainly coming down a little harder in the city of Chicago. Is some pretty good downpours in some of the northern and western suburbs, pretty close to O'Hare around Park Ridge and Rosemont, and then farther north toward Buffalo Grove, starting to get up into Lake County. There's some downpours as well. And a pretty solid area of rain even through the southern suburbs, all the way back through Peoria and Bloomington. So we have a fair amount of rain to get through this evening. There will be some downpours. Could cause some ponding on roads, and there could be gusty winds with any of the downpours or thunderstorms that move through, and then things will wind down into the overnight hours. Brian Thompson, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
All right, Brian, thank you. We'll be back with you at 5:15 with a look at the 5-day forecast. Governor Pritzker and one of his main Republican challengers talking about the deadly shooting by ICE agents of a woman in Minneapolis, the latest incident of violence surrounding the Trump administration's immigration enforcement. We get the details now from WBBM political editor Jeff Buckles.
The governor addressed the shooting of Renee Good before a bill signing ceremony in Joliet, offering condolences to her family and encouraging people to watch the video of the encounter.
It should anger you. It angers me. It should compel you to peacefully stand up for justice. It's time for Kristi Noem to go.
Pritzker's Republican challenger Darren Bailey told reporters at a campaign event in Springfield that it breaks his heart every time there's a loss of life. However,
none of this should be happening if state government would be upholding the law. If we were doing this in Illinois, they were doing it in Minnesota, federal government would have no need to be there.
The governor also noted the state has had its own brushes with violence surrounding ICE enforcement. Jeff Buckles, News Radio 105.9, WBBM.
Meantime, former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot officially launching what she calls the ICE Accountability Project, a website where residents can share information and videos to document alleged criminal and abusive conduct by federal agents. Lightfoot says she consulted with a lot of people before going ahead with the project.
You know, our former First Lady, Michelle Obama, told us, do something. And this is my doing something about this issue. I could not, in good conscience, sit and watch what was happening and just feel frustrated and angry. And I hope that this gives people a sense of empowerment.
And that website is reporticenow.com. A man will spend decades behind bars for a murder and attempt.
So there was an arson fire here this morning.
The office says 27-year-old Samuel Garcia confronted two men back in 2022, yelled gang slogans, and then opened fire. One of the men fell trying to run away, and Garcia reportedly stood over him and shot him twice in the head. A second man was also shot but survived. Garcia was sentenced to 55 years for first-degree murder and in jail. Haley Hansen, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
SubX.News on the spot reporting. There was a report of an arson fire here. As you see, there was a fire right there. See that there? Something burned here. We're going to have to get the radio calls. But we've been warning about the people living here that it's dangerous. So we don't know if it was an... I got a report there was an arsonist out here this morning. But now you see it's all cleaned up, right? Why do we have to have something bad happen to people for something to get fixed up? We're just showing, right, here on Ida B. Wells and State Street, they were saying there was an arsonist here, and you can see it's all cleaned out there, right? There you go. You got something to say to me, man? You got something to say to me? What do you got to say? Get off the fucking street. It's a public street. Get off the street. It's a public street. Brother. See, you got criminals around there, right? You got criminals all running around here talking shit. You got criminals everywhere that they threatened me the last time. They're everywhere running around. Got that? Everywhere there's a criminal, and they tell you what you can and can't do. There's a report of an arsonist here, and we see it's something burned where the people were living here on Ida B. Wells between Wabash and State Street. We'll have to look into this a little bit more. It's about 5:05 p.m. January 8th, 2026.
On the Eisenhower inbound, an hour 17 from I-90 to downtown, 50 to drive in for Manheim, headed out to Manheim.
All right, people, guy just was threatening me here from the sidewalk. Every day there's a threat here. Every single day. That's not a matter of getting to me, Mizidor. No, it's not that. It's not that. You can't threaten people to do whatever you want, right? This is a crime scene. That's what I'm recording. And the guy's saying, what are you doing? What are you doing? Telling me as a driver, right? What is he talking to me about, right? I don't know what this guy is telling me, right? Yeah, I'm not going to put up with that shit from nobody. There's a fire right there. That burned. There was an arson fire. This is a crime scene right there. It's right in front of you. That's what I'm recording, a crime scene. Right? And the guy's talking shit to me, right? I'm not going to put up with none from these fucking criminals. He's a criminal, right? Why are you talking to me, right? Why are you talking to me in the car? Who are you? Right? You're on a public street. And you're threatening the drivers? And this city allows that crap, right? Right? Somebody got hurt here. We have to figure this out. Right? The guy ran away. This is where I was threatened by 10 people once before. This is a criminal zone. That guy might be the arsonist that tried to kill the homeless people. That's what that is. You have to watch these people. There's criminals everywhere all around here. This is an abandoned area, right? There's people everywhere doing all kinds of criminal activities. Right? They sell drugs right over here. Can't let criminals tell you what to do. They're not getting to me, Ms. Zidor. I'm not putting up with that crap. That's the point.
My body from the ground up. And with over 80,000 five-star reviews, I am far from alone enjoying that relief. New year, better
He'll come throw a brick in my window, right, one day. He'll be robbing you and stealing your stuff. That's the kind of people those are, right?
Free fitting and test walk at goodfeet.com or just stop by the store nearest you. With locations in Skokie, Schaumburg, Algonquin, Geneva, Naperville, Orland Park, and Highland, Indiana.
It's 5:12. Southwest Suburban Police sifting through evidence following a deadly 3-car crash shut down I-55. Romeoville police say it happened around
They sell
4:30
drugs
this
here,
morning,
right?
Route 136,
Drug dealers,
mile
right?
marker 260, when a vehicle on a frontage road crashed through a barrier wall and ended up on the interstate. Investigators say the driver, 20-year-old Jonathan Wenzel, died at the scene. The second person was airlifted with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. A led to northbound lanes between US 30 and Route 126 to be shut down for several hours. Romeoville police continue to investigate the cause. However, initial reports indicate speeding was a contributing factor. Well, a tech expert says robots may have turned a corner.
The robots are here, and they want to help. Tech expert Jennifer Jolly tells the Noon Business Hour that robots are the talk of the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas this week. She says advances in artificial intelligence and spatial reasoning have allowed robots to take the leap from theoretical to practical.
Remember the giant brick phones, those first cell phones of the early 80s? That's where we are in the humanoid robot world.
She talks about a factory robot that will move around the floor and help human workers accomplish tough physical tasks.
The dangerous, the tedious, the repetitive work in factories, the stuff that exactly like you said, wears humans down.
Rob Hart, News Radio 105.9.
And they're dealing drugs. Those are drug dealers
TJ
right
Maxx
there,
is
man.
set to anchor a new retail development on the...
They have all kinds of people who are downtown here, and they tell you, what are you doing? What are you doing? They chase you. They threaten you. They threatened me here multiple times. Here. This is a crime scene. A girl got murdered here. A 17-year-old girl was murdered right here. You see this where we're at? They were sitting on this stoop here. They murdered the girl right in the middle of that street here. Why don't you look it up? Look it up. The girl's name that was the murderer was Egypt. She was 18. The girl that got murdered was 17, I believe, or 16, Heather. Right here, right in front of you. That's a murder scene. Some punk like that talking to you, saying, what are you doing? A criminal. How did I say before? If you're a criminal, you do criminal things, you keep doing your thing. Why are you bothering people? I'm driving around doing my job. And that guy starts threatening me from the sidewalk. Same people who killed that girl right there. You got that? That's why. I'm not putting up with that. That's a criminal, right? There's nothing to say to me. I'm a credentialed media person from the city of Chicago. Whether I have that credential or not doesn't mean anything. Why are you talking to people driving around, right? And that's a crime scene anyways. There was an arson fire right there, right? And here, there was a murder here. It was what, this summer or 2 summers ago? It was the 24th summer, right here. A girl was murdered, stabbed to death. Right here, she died on the scene. I'll show you, there's a video of her getting stabbed and bleeding out right here. If you don't believe me, look it up. It's on our page.
Family home, condo, or rental property.
Yeah, I'm not, again, they're not getting to me. I'm not putting up with that. That's the point. 2026 is a different year. I'm not putting up with criminals. I'm not. Don't talk to me. I'm not here to, if I'm talking to you, then we talk. You start talking to me when I'm doing my job and bothering me when I'm doing my work. This is my work and this is my company. I'm not dealing with that kind of stuff. Nuh-uh. No patience. Zero tolerance. No tolerance for that stuff. Not this year.
West Indiana, but elsewhere across the area, it is raining, and in most places, raining at a pretty good clip. There's some downpours around. There's been some rumbles of thunder, and we'll continue to have the risk for a thunderstorm into this evening, and there could be gusty winds and perhaps some ponding on roads with any downpour. Now, late tonight, after midnight, things will start to wind down, and the rain will ease up a bit. We'll see temperatures mostly in the 50s. Then late tonight, temps will fall into the 40s. Might be a leftover shower first thing tomorrow, otherwise a windy, cooler day as clouds break for some afternoon sun. Temps don't rise very much tomorrow, a high of 46. Rather cloudy tomorrow night with a couple of showers toward dawn, low 34. Cloudy, colder Saturday, a little snow at times, which will be mixed with rain early. Could be just
Heather,
the ground. High Saturday, 37.
Haven, 17, stabbed to death downtown Chicago by a lady named Egypt.
Temperatures bounce back to near 40 with some sunshine on Monday. 54 degrees right now at O'Hare.